Hey guys, welcome to Leather&Liquor&Guns. I'm Devin. Today we're going to be taking a look at the difference between the American 1911 and the Russian 1911. Granted, this is an M57, which is a copy of the TT-33, but it's dubbed the Russian 1911. So let's go ahead and take a look. First off, we're going to compare the mags. First thing you notice is the mag for the 1911 compared to the Tokarev is skinnier, just a little, to accommodate a fatter round for that 45 and skinnier round for that 7.62 Tokarev. Real quick, guys, I messed up, and what I meant to say was that the Tokarev mag is skinnier than the 1911 mag. People who know, you know. Obviously, I had to make a little thing real quick, just so. And then, get back up there. We're gonna jump into this. Obviously, check, make sure it's cleared. Then, with 1911, you have a notch right here that you need to bring back here to get your pen out. Then, pushing forward, you want to wrap as if the slide is in the same spot. Wrap right here underneath this part and move your hand as a whole at the same time you squeeze your fingers, so that you have everything captivated by your hand. Otherwise, it will go flying. Throwing stuff. Notice how everything is in the frame. This, with all the pins in, is all one piece for the 1911. Then, using your fingers to grip it, the recoil spring is not captivated, so you need to be careful with the plug. Set that right there, guys. Then, popping your plunger in, turn, and pull out. Then, pushing the other way, you want the lug to line up with the hole. Then, push your barrel length forward. Barrel comes out the front. With the Tokarev, you don't have to move, because see how there's no notch on the slide? There is this pin back here holding it. So using your thumbnail and your index finger, you want to pull that out of the way. Then, you just push it out. Pin will come straight out. And the slide will come right off. You don't have to worry about everything. Now, the biggest difference here, before I set this down, put the slide down real quick, is the hammer and everything is in a pack. A little hammer pack. So the only thing in here is the trigger. A spring for said. So, pop that back in. You want to make sure your rails line up and whatnot. We'll take a look at the slide. So, your recoil spring is captivated with a pin in it, kind of like an AK. And so, then, you don't have a plunger because that is captivated. All you have to do with this, though, is turn it 180 and pull it right off. Now, these Tokarevs, they are a copy off of an earlier design. And there you go. The 1903, which was the precursor to the 1911, obviously. We'll show a couple similarities real quick. You can definitely see the similarities right off the bat. This is definitely, the 1911 barrel definitely looks more refined. You know, and not even just that it's blued, just in the machining marks, the way that they're shaped. And the slides. 1911 slide is meatier. I mean, this is considerably heavier. You can see it has considerably more steel on it as well. All around dimensions are definitely, they're close. They're close. And you could definitely tell how someone would see a Tokarev, say that's a 1911. Well, you're close. It's a Russian 1911. them Ruskies. They like copying stuff. So let's go ahead and put it all back together. We'll start Tokarev. Now I am using fur, so I am going to check to make sure that I don't have any stray hairs, which too many of can mess your actions up. So that's locked in. Slide off to the side. Frame looks good. Barrel linkage forward. Barrel drops right into place. Cap in. Spin 180. Recoil spring. And so you'll notice this side has a little bit of a shelf on it. A spot to sit. And this one's just a round spot. Well, that looks almost a lot like what would end up at the end of that 1911 plug. So, this spot down, because that's obviously notched to line up with the barrel, cut in, and that pin right there helps us turn it just right so that it will seat right on in there. There we go. And then we will take our slide and our frame. Just give them a little. Then you take your pin. Oh yeah, that's one thing we didn't show off real quick. You can see how this pin is a much smaller pin in just about every dimension. So, taking it, take your hole, your pin, put it in, it stops at such a point, just kind of work it back and forth, drop in place, thumb on your pin, and just slide that little clip back in place. There's the Tokarev. Then the 1911 frame, barrel. Take your barrel linkage, put it forward, drop it in. There we go. And the plug. Make sure you're all lined up right there. Put your pin up. Oops. Okay. And so this is the part where if you're not careful, you're going to send something flying. Take your spring. The plug, make sure your plug is seated. Then you got that same kind of notch. Put it all the way in, and then hold it in place. Take your frame. Line it up. There you go. That's comparison between an American 1911 and a Ruski 1911. I got a little. They are. You can definitely see the similarities where this was taken from an earlier model of this, but you know what? Overseas they call it 30 bore. I think I'll stick with my 45. See you guys later.